You can open up and just receive. Just what he's pouring out is nothing you've ever seen. You've ever seen. So hello peace, hello joy, hello love, hello strength, hello hope. It's a new horizon. Hello peace, hello joy, hello love, hello strength, hello hope. It's a new horizon. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Megan DiMartino, and good evening and welcome to the Propel Deep Dive. This is part of my Propel program. I'm bringing this to you to give information, to share information of encouragement, enthusiasm, and hope and possibilities. That's why I start off this with that beautiful song, Hello Hope, Hello Peace, Hello Joy. It's a new horizon. And that's what I want to bring to you tonight and every day. We do the Propel Daily with just little nuggets that I've put together for you of encouragement and inspiration daily. And then on Tuesdays, on BWC Breakfast with Champions, I interview a person. Then I carry that over to Thursday evening to our deep dive. And I want you to learn about them. For 2 years, I did my podcast, Unique Leaders Live. And Unique Leaders Live, which you can find on YouTube under Megan DiMartino or Unique Leaders, but I interviewed really amazing folks such as Glenn Lundy, Sharon Lecter, Greg Reed, Barbara Majeski, on. And I want you to see in their lives, you, because we're no different, guys. Just because we have started and done, and continued on, doesn't mean that you can't either. And that's why I share my own story. I share it in my book, Hope and Possibilities, Just Over the Horizon, because I want you to glean that information, that there is always hope, there's always peace, there's joy, there's a new horizon, but just over the horizon, because you must continue on. You must not stop. I heard a quote. I've known this quote, but I heard it this week from a colleague that over 30% of new businesses are begun in the United States by women, but more than 80% do not continue on in that business past several years. In the beauty industry, it's even worse. It's 95% of all newly licensed estheticians. Now, I'm an esthetician, skincare specialist. That 95% of all newly licensed estheticians are not working in the field in 5 years. They have spent over $20,000 in education. They're still paying their loans if they've taken out a Pell Grant, but they have nowhere to get that foundation to build that business. And that is my heart. My heart is to help you start, scale, and sustain, because sustaining is the true marathon. It's not a sprint. It's about, but you have to have that decision, that definitiveness of purpose, that you started and you're not going to stop, no matter what, no matter what. Burn the boats, as Napoleon Hill says. So I am here every Thursday night. Next week, we're going to be remote. It's going to be really cool. We'll tell you a little bit about that, my guest, Angeline Moore, and I. But it will be absolutely the same dynamic of Propel Deep Dive, to dive in with someone's life, what they've done, what they're doing, and what they will not do, that non-negotiable of starting, scaling, and sustaining a business in their life, because they have to be synergistic. And that these tools will propel you. They will propel you to that success, to actualize that dream, that goal, that desire that is in your heart. So without further ado, I'd like to invite my beautiful guest, my friend, the one and only Angeline Moore. Good evening.
Hi.
My glamorous girl, my glamour girl. my glamour
How
girl.
are you?
I'm so good, and I'm so good to
I
have you.
dolled up for you, my love.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you have my favorite color, purple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. That's
Purple.
mine too. Purple's my favorite. As you can see, it's in all over my branding.
I know, and that was probably one of the things that drew me into you initially with the Faith Forward Summit,
Yeah.
and several years ago, because of that it's royalty, but that
Yeah.
is the basic color of my skincare brand, the Novita Spa Clinicals. And Novita means new birth, new life, always something new. So we started this interview, my friend, on Tuesday in the Propel Weekly with BWC. Now we're going to be speaking about 30 minutes, and then after that, then we'll bring in folks that are listening. Oh, that's good. That are, listening, whether it's in StreamYard here, they're on the Facebook Propel Business Group, they're in YouTube, over in LinkedIn, and then hang a left over to the Clubhouse hallways and to the Propel room. So there are people all over the place listening to us. So we'll bring those folks in. You're wearing several hats today because normally you help me with this, moderating this program. But today, the light is shown on you, my friend. The light is shown on you.
I am so honored. We're gonna do our picture, so I don't forget, because I will forget as we talk.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the camera. Let me do it different. I'm trying to do it. It's so weird being the guest.
I'm trying to look at the camera over here.
I'm just like, okay.
I mean, I think that I don't even know where the camera is. I can't even see. I don't have my glasses on.
No, it works.
No, that's yes. Okay.
It works. We're good.
Did you take it? Okay.
Yes, I have
it. We can do it later. Okay. So what I'd like to say tonight, we're going to focus on the C of commitment. And as you know, and many people who follow myself and my work and my work over these many, many years, I really build these businesses on the 5 C's. And it's clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. I was listening to Lolita Walker this morning, who is one of I just love her. She is clarity and commitment equals something. But, meaning it's not that she goes, clarity and courage, no, confidence, clarity and confidence equal commitment. But the point of the point is they all work synergistically together. And I'm sure you heard me just now share that statistic, meaning that so many women start businesses. Women have a heart. Women have creativity. Women have soul. And they go, they're multitaskers as well. Far more than no fault men are brothers, but we, juggle kids and life and business and so forth. And so we have, we're the ones that back in the day were at the river doing the laundry, singing, and taking care of the babies. And so very multitasking. It's genetic. So we're drawn to start, but we have never been shown how to build. And so and we also have historically not been built up with, you are great and you should do this. I'm not saying all, I'm just saying many. And so there are obstacles to overcome to get to that foundation, even to get to the foundation. And that's where my program of Propel comes in. And and you and I are now joining forces because,
so excited.
And the Holy Spirit has just revealed this, because without a system, you can have the greatest idea. You can, like me, over these last 30 plus years, hired graphic people and web people, and somebody's handling the CRM, which is the database, and pulling it over to different platforms for e-blast and all that. But that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of coordination. So when we met, I said, oh my goodness. I mean, tell me more. Tell me more. And so therefore, as you got to know me and we were working together, you saw how it was so dovetailed together, meaning this program, as well as then giving, not giving, but part of the program to have the system. So it's just magic. It's just magic. So it
really has. It's all simpatico. So I like that word where it just blends together. I love blending things that don't seem like they go well. So I think it's really great. When I first met you, Megan, and I still do, I've always been in awe of you because you're just so amazing. You have this charisma that I can't even begin to explain. Like you radiate this confidence in you, and then all your receipts, I tell you, you have all the receipts for all the things, and you tell me all the stuff you did. It was so amazing. I was so nervous to ask you to be part of my Faith Forward Virtual Summit. You're like, you watched the first two, and I was like, I wanted to ask you on the first one, and I waited until the third round, and I'm like, all right, now I'm brave enough. I've done it a couple times. I can show her that it can be successful, and I had you part of it. I know, Debbie. Thank you. I keep touching my hair. She's like, Angeline, your hair looks amazing. Stop touching it.
Well, that's a friend. That's a friend that tells us. Yes.
So it was really cool. And then just over the years, as we've collaborated more, it's just in sync. It's like you said, it's the Holy Spirit. It's been this, God really knows the timing of everything. Like I have been on this journey of being committed to my walk in wanting to impact the world. How is that going to happen? I had no clue. I had no freaking idea, right? And then he kind of just throws these things at me, and he's like, I'm part of these different up-level programs, right? I was part of the whole thing as a part of accountability group that said I needed to do a virtual summit. I'm like, what the heck? What is that? So I did it, and I found a system to do it smoothly because I was one of those that got super confused by it all. And even though tech was come simple to me and I can figure it out, I was frustrated that they weren't talking, right? So I don't know, I'm babbling, but
no, keep going. You're not babbling. You're sharing how it evolved.
Yeah,
that is
it did. It evolved.
That's what happened. So you were frustrated that
I was.
Keep going.
And he really brought it in my spirit to the right people in the right door, like meeting you through Glenn Lundy's Breakfast with Champions. He had the Rise and Grind, and he had this small elite group at first, right? So it was like the small community where I met Shelly Jean and Debbie Dowling-Waba, who I see in our audience. Hello, ladies, and you and Vanjie, he's in our listening lounge. And so it was such an amazing time to get connected with people and seeing that faith and business can blend. And then I joined the Mom Link too. Like, community is so huge. Like with the pandemic, I became a huge hermit. I was given the opportunity to work from home, and I full-fledged drove into just being at home, but I still craved that connection. And when he put the right people in front of me, I was able to align with what his path was for me, and knowing and gleaning from the different tech stuff that came so easy to me, right? Like, they're like, do a summit. I'm like, cool, this is what I got to do. Let's just do it. And the scary part was just asking the right people to be part of it with you. And then he just opens the door for it. So I've been slowly walking through it, and it's been a consistent commitment to my faith walk with him. And then as I aligned more and became more loud in my faith talk, is when it all fell into place more. Instead of me just doing all these different things to improve my self-development, to become the best entrepreneur out there and get this certification and that, that thing, and this is what you're supposed to do and build this funnel and all these things I'm supposed to learn. He really brought it together when I started finally putting it to him, because for a long time, I was just doing the stuff because I thought I was in the right way, but I never made him my CEO on it. Because I tried to separate it, right? The world would continuously tell us that you brought it. You have it over here, your faith and your beliefs, and you do business over here and you don't mix anything of it. None of it's supposed to mix. And I learned that I can't do it that way. So it was until I finally pivoted that way and gave it to him and like, God, this is you. Whatever business you want me to thrive in, whatever opportunity you need me to walk through, and what people you need me to talk to and impact, bring it, because I'm here to serve you and bring more sparkle to your kingdom. And doing that really changed the trajectory of where I am today, honestly, and why I have KSA, why I work with you, why I am connected to the people I'm connected with. And so yeah,
I want to go back
that
to
commitment.
Tuesday because with what you're saying, but I want to go back to Tuesday because on Tuesday you shared something and I had such an aha moment listening to you, which quite frankly, and I'm going to circle that back to that 30+% of women starting businesses and not continuing on. Because it's that second guessing and that doubt, the battlefield is in the mind, and, oh, I don't have this certification. I don't have, all of that. But you shared on Tuesday how everything you just said, but that you got to November, the fall, and met Christina and myself and a few other, and Tina Wilson, and I didn't realize, I thought that KSA was already a thing. Meaning when I approached you at Tamara Andrus's Faith, Grow Your Business, rather, for
Grow Your
God's sake,
Business, yeah.
Nashville, I said, hey, let's have lunch. I thought that KSA was in place. I didn't realize that. And so the reason I bring this up again, and we talked about it privately, but the reason I bring it up, Angeline, in this context is I want people to understand, as you just said, it's in God's timing, meaning that she could have aborted the mission. She could have said, you know what, I've got a good, corporate job, forget about it. I've got 3 sons, a husband, this is ridiculous. But she was open to listening to God, guiding her. And then when people like myself asked her for assistance, it propelled you to then continue to not define, but refine and seek out more about what the platform that you've built with KSA is.
Exactly. It was totally God instance, honestly, because I've been doing this for myself for years. I've been doing it to try to build my own business and stuff. And when you and when Christina and the women, Stars Tina, and the Mom Link were like, hey, let's do this stuff, and they didn't know how to go into the digital space to get it done. Right. I was like, oh, that's easy. And I just threw it all together. I'm like, we're just going to do this, this, and this. And I handled it. And then it's like, why is this your business? And I was like, no. They're like, why not? And so I was like, oh, and that's when the God download of Kingdom Sparkle agency came into me. Like, it just over and over and over again. Before that, but a year before that, when I did the Faith Forward Summit, Faith Forward just kept ringing in my ear over and over and over again. And then before I went to Nashville, Kingdom Sparkle agency, KSA, was just that resounding voice. And I'm like, I don't even know what this means. And then when I was able to be like, oh, wow, this is something that I can offer and give to people that are in need of it, and I'm good at it, and I can share that gift. why not? So here we are. I know it's going to grow into more. I know that it just starts with this foundation. And this is why I'm really, really excited of combining it with your Propel Activation Program, where you start and help scale business owners. And then if we blend it with the system to do it all together, I'm stoked. Like, I cannot wait for people to lock arms with us to do this. So it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
What's really, what's exciting for me about this is that I'm going to equate it to what you just said about you, is that I'm just going to share this little piece of it. I've known in my spirit that I was supposed to do this for a long time. And because, again, as I said about the spa industry and the aesthetics specifically, it's just horrendous. And so I've known that I have systems in place, like the master's program and how these gals have worked for me for over 10 years, which is unheard of, and how they've thrived and how they've grown and now started their own businesses. So I've known it was time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I knew that, like 18, 19. Okay, and I started working on it, but then God said to me, and it wasn't coming together. I had little bits and pieces. But I was told the night, and people who've ever listened to me heard that when Paul passed in 11, share your story. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, my story? What's my story? Tonight, my life
Which
story.
one? I have so many stories.
What is my story? Well, God doesn't answer those questions, So I started journaling. And by 17, I had a title-ish, meaning Hope and Possibilities, just over the horizon. And then I started working on this program, which was what ended up being this, but it wasn't coming together. So then in 19, it was like crashing cymbals and hearing, you're not doing what I told you to do. Okay, what is that? Meaning my story. So I had to take a 360 or 180, I guess, because it still was writing and doing. But I took a 180, put the course over there, took out my notes, the journaling and my title, and sat down and started writing, and it just flowed out. And then I put it on with my help with my friend Rick Gibson, put it up on Amazon in December of 19, and then it went into, and he guided me how to do it. But it went to #1 on Amazon January 4th, which is my mother's birthday.
Best-selling author. I love it.
I'm not saying that to really say that. I'm saying following what that guidance is. You just changed your bangs. No, bring them the other way.
Okay, I'm done. Keep talking. I need to just focus on you and not on me. I keep touching my hair and I'm messing it up. Okay, go ahead. Yes, you have a book that you didn't know you're going to write the book, Hope and Possibilities. If you guys have not read Hope and Possibilities yet, it's simply amazing. She has an audiobook and she's giving it away for free, which is kind of crazy to me. But if you go to her propel.megandimartino.com/info, you will get the book download link to get it. So I'm so excited.
Well, the Holy Spirit message again about that. Yeah, you can go and buy it. On Amazon, but on the other side of the coin, during the lockdown in 20, I got the message to put it on Easter weekend, to put it on, I guess, on the website as an ebook, and then the next year, which would have been 21, or might have been Easter of 22, but regardless, to do, because I had recorded it in a studio with the same guy that did the Propel videos, and in a studio in Fort Worth. And so I said, you know what, again, it was a mandate from God, share my story. So, okay, and that's why. But the real point of the story is that I had to listen, Angeline. And that's what my heart, as your heart is to help people to understand that it is an evolution and it's a journey. And one step leads to the next step. But it's not, that's why Start and Scale are videos and workbooks. So it could be a 10-week because it's 5 and 5, right? 5
Yeah.
weeks workbooks.
Yeah.
So, if you want to, just go through it, everybody works at their own pace. But after that, it's going to be a mastermind. And where we then will help people with and it'll be bi-monthly, and help them with these tools. I mean, if I had somebody to talk to, just even to talk to during the beginning stages of glycolic and so forth, oh my gosh. So it's so important to glean, to get information, but also to share with each other, because we grow together. We truly grow together.
It's true. You really need somebody and I always felt so, I'm so blessed that I give it to God, right? He brings the right people in, because before I would stay away from women. Honestly, I hated women. Like, you guys could be shocked by that statement, but I grew up a tomboy, and there was a few girls in my circle, and we grew up with a bunch of guys around us, and the few girls were just that, like, it was just us few girls, and anyone else that tried to come in, it was so catty. It was so like, who are you? And so finding a group of women that you could actually mesh with, that it wasn't like, I'm trying to be better than you, has been a true journey, and that's all God there. And so I'm so excited for what's next. And I love what you said, where it's like you just had to stop and listen, because that's what it takes, is that you just have to pause and pray and really tap into that, because it really takes a lot to want to, one, put yourself out there, especially in the way that a lot of us were raised, right? Like, I was raised that even in my Filipina culture, you stay home and get good grades and clean the house and, don't speak up,
Yes, yes.
So it's just,
Which is such a contradiction. Get good grades for what, but stay home.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. Be a good wife and and I'm not the Susie Homemaker wife either. Like, kudos to all y'all who are. I commend you, because it takes a lot to do that. I can't be that one.
Yes, but that's that person's anointing. That person, and that's the unique, we're all snowflakes. Everyone has their own anointing, and it's sisterhood. And that's what I love about not stopping, because you guys are my family, my daughters, and it's such a beautiful thing. It's just really a beautiful thing. When Sharon Lecter, who I met by the grace of God, it's a long story, but in 17 rather, after her son had passed away, and she had taken a hiatus, and she had written through the Napoleon Hill Foundation, Think and Grow Rich for Women. So that was her first project. And she was coming back out, and I just happened to be, she was here in Austin, and Lisa Copeland, who you will meet on Thursday, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but she had mustered up courage, to reach out to she and Renee Bengelsdorf had written a book, Do It Scared.
Yeah.
Okay. And well, no, that's her speaking. What's her name of her book? But anyway, it doesn't matter. But you can find it. But she and Renee wrote a book. Should know this. But she reached out to Sharon to write the foreword. She was like, oh my God, type of thing. And Sharon said, sure. So Sharon came to this event, and that's when I first met her. And so that was quite a while ago. And so anyway, why I bring this up is that, I guess it was 2019, she was having a big birthday. And I could feel in her lives that she was not liking this. And I love Iris Arfel. I don't know if anyone knows Iris Arfel, but she is a fashion designer. She was the editor of Vogue many years ago, but she just turned 101. She has a line of clothing on HSN, And I mean, she's very flamboyant. She wears these huge glasses, but she has a fabulous book, or books, but of her philosophy of aging, in life.
Oh, wow. I'll have to look her up.
Iris Arfel, Arfel, I believe, Fel. So anyway, I bought that for Sharon because, again, it's about the point of the story really is that it's never too early or too late. Never. But if you stop, you will not continue on. So there's seasons, right? There are reasons, but it's all about that flow, that ebb and flow. So it's that persistence, as Pedro Adeo says from Proverbs, it's knowing, it's the first things first, as he always talks about.
Yeah,
it's that persistence, knowing, that's that clarity, but that persistence then of not stopping and doing every day that first thing first. Break it down into small, manageable parts. Because if you do more, you will get overwhelmed and you will stop.
You will stop. And that's what I love about what you have to offer in the Propel program, to really hone in all that, like with your 5 C's, with the clarity, especially, right? If you're not clear on it, you really can't do anything else on what you're trying to do. And then I love that commitment's part of it, because it's hard to stay committed, especially in the hard days, especially in the valley, when you're just like, why, God? Why am I even, when all these rainstorms and all this stuff and all this crap is happening in my life? Like, why should I even continue? I don't see the fruit that you're saying that is out there, right? Like, but then it just takes that small mustard seed. It takes that surrounding yourself with people to be like, y'all, I don't have it in me. Y'all need to pray for me because I don't have it. And that's what I did really when I wrote my chapter in Voices of the 21st Century, Women Transforming the World. That was during one of my valleys that I shared in there. And God's like, just put it out there. And I didn't even know that I wanted to write anything and share anything, right? But I listened to submit.
Now, you just touched on something that I want to really hone in on. Angeline started a podcast.
I did.
Now, first off, she is so proficient in so many things. So, you can't, you can't just sit there, blah, 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 blah. But again, back to breaking it down into small, manageable parts. But I want, I want you to share with our guests, and then we'll shortly bring our guests in that are here on StreamYard, if anyone is with us. I want you to share, because guys, you need to go to Spotify. First of all, I love her voice. I love her wisdom. I love how she articulates. And I often listen to her podcast at night because it just kind of just brings me down, and it's a center because I'm going like us all. And it really is just a really great way to, just bring it down. But I want you to share with our guests about, first of all, briefly your story. I know it's not brief, but the story of how you led to writing that chapter. Because one of the things that's very key about this story, guys, that are listening to us, and people will be listening to this after, is that in a very dark place, as you just said, but you're a gal that seeks out, trying all sorts of things. So something and someone led you to that. So let's start there, and then we'll go into the podcast.
For the story, so it was, I went and I share it, and it's a trigger warning, and when I share my story in the book, but I was literally just scrolling through my phone. We all have our phones, and I was in bed, and I was just going through the emails, trying to delete it before the next day, because I started slowly getting out of my head of spiraling. I was completely spiraling, and I would reach out to the elite members, and people would check in on me. And
what organization? Well, who were you leading?
The elite, so the Rising Grand elite people. So I'm still connected to some of them, like Shelley Jean and Debbie Dowling Waba and VNG. So Nathaniel Banks, that's been on here, and Rodney the Rock Adkins, so Hatfield. So we are part of a chat, and I just drop in there my prayer requests. I'm like, I know I've been quiet because I I got really quiet on social, and I love going lives and doing stuff. And I got quiet and coming to the different meetings and the accountability meetings and coming into Clubhouse even. I didn't even really tap in because I was going through the muck. But that small mustard seed of faith helped me finally come out of it and find the peace in the valley that I was in. And I was scrolling through my phone, and literally there was an email that was days old that said, from my Women's Speakers Association community that I was part of, that they're looking for authors and they're still submit your story. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And something was like, Angeline, submit your story. And I'm like, what story would I even tell? They're like, what you just went through. And I'm like, okay, I'm not an author. I don't want to be an author. I don't want to write a book, but why not? They won't even choose me. This is like days old. This is like a week old. I'm going to send it and they'll ignore it and it's whatever. But at least I'm doing whatever this voice is telling me to do. So I knew it was God, but I was angry at God. You can be angry at God, okay? It's okay. And I was like, fine.
The big shoulder.
Like a child when you're just like, no, and you're mad at your parents. I was mad at my Heavenly Father, and I'm like, fine, Father, fine, whatever. So I submitted my story. I filled out the application, and literally the next day, when I was at a Christian conference, actually, I was seeing Patricia. What's her name? Strife. Patricia.
Oh, yes, the African American.
Yes, Patricia, and then and Nick Kovacic was there, and Tim Tebow was there, and it was like a whole big conference at a church that I used to go to. Patricia Shire, and I went there for her, and it was at a church that I used to go to growing up, and they were having a Christian event there, and so I went, and I literally got a call while I was there, and they said, "We love your story. We want you to be an author in the story." And I'm like, what? Why? So I wrote my chapter in the story, and it was God. And what I called it was, I don't believe in coincidences anymore. They're God instances. They're everything that happens for a reason. And I found my favorite verse in the Bible, Romans 8:28, that it all happens for the good. And regardless of whatever muck and yuck that you're going through, it does happen for a good, and that there is a plan, his plan for the better of it. So I wrote the story, and then I'm an international #1 best-selling author now. Voice of the 21st century, and my face is on the back of a book, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. So that's just kind of how it happened.
It is that listening and being obedient to that still, quiet, small voice.
Yeah.
And so others, the project du jour today is a podcast, and I've been doing lives. I mean, if you go back to YouTube, I mean, I've been a goofy girl for a long time. Hello, and talking about whatever.
Yeah.
And so I used to do Totally Motivation Mondays, Totally You Tuesdays, and they're all there someplace. But anyway, you though are what I so respect about you. I mean, so many things, but one is that you're so humble, and that you do so many things so well, just like your story about your book. And that was before ChatGPT, and so you wrote that. And with that said, you are very passionate about what you do, passionate about your faith. You're passionate then about all of this, and you're committed to it, and you recognize that it's necessary to get it out there.
Yes.
Okay? Because, as the word says, it can't stay dormant under a bushel. You have to get it out there. And Debbie, if she's still here, was talking today on the Mom Link room about how, coming onto Clubhouse, and she didn't even, what she said was so powerful, because she said, I just was a soccer mom for 20 years. I didn't even know I needed it.
Yeah.
And so that's also a very interesting statement, because a lot of people feel that way. They've squelched it down so far that all it needs is that igniting, that
Yeah.
little flame, just that little flame of encouragement, just a little encouragement. So back to you. So you know you need to get it out there, your information. And so you started doing a podcast. So guys,
Good.
so put up the stuff, please. Put up the stuff.
The
And
Kingdom Sparkle podcast. Again, I've had in my heart to do a podcast, and a prompt to do a podcast back in 2019, and I didn't do it. I'm a tech girl. I love technology. I love learning new systems. I love streamlining it, simplifying it, finding ways to do it better. And I allowed the podcasting technology to completely stump me. I made excuse after excuse. I literally bought all the programs. Like I had Anchor, I had all the stuff. I recorded an intro, and then like I got so overwhelmed by it that I didn't even do it at all. I was just like, nope, done. I'm not doing this. And I started doing YouTube lives for a little bit, because lives are fun, but there's a whole nother level to doing podcasting. So then this year, being part of the BWC community, being part of Celebrity CEO Coaching with Ramon Ray, and, being part of with you and the Mom Link and your encouragement and your seeing what you've done. And then Mary Lynn Wilkin started her podcast. And I'm like, what? Like, if Mary Lynn could do it, I could do it. And then she started it with her son. So I thought that was incredible. And then me and Stars Tina, we are always like back and forth. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm doing this. Let's go. Let's grow together. And then she started her podcast. She's like, Angeline, just do it. I think we started our podcast the same day, because she was like, she's that very much, she's one of those women that encourages you to take that action, and you can't like not take the action, because then you're like, why didn't I take that? So it was so much fun.
She gave you the kick in the pants. Yes.
She did. She gave me the kick in the pants that I needed, because otherwise I probably would have continued to drag my feet on it. And I did take a hiatus. My last episode was July 28th when I got sick and I started making excuses. And so this whole month I've been kind of like not in it, but I just got another interview. So it's going to be relaunching next month of September. I have an interview with an amazing Jeanette Peterson from Unapologetically. Her podcast is Unapologetic. I can't even say it now.
Unapologetically.
Unapologetically.
Whatever. That's
Unstoppable. And so we align very, very much, because my podcast, the Kingdom Sparkle podcast, is about faith forward businesses, blending the business, blending the faith, blending the things. I have a series on there that I started called I Like Big Butts. And it's kind of fun, because it's like everyone knows that song. And I'm not talking about our behinds, though. I'm talking about the paradoxes in our lives, the big butts in our lives, where we're as entrepreneurs, as life, we're said, okay, God, I'm going to wait for you, but take action.
Right.
What?
Right.
So I talk about that. I kind of talk through it. I had some scripture in there, and it's been really fun. I'm going to bring our guest on.
Yes, please do. And but again, I want to encourage everyone to listen to her podcast, and she does have interviews. Camille Walker, who was on the deep dive a couple of weeks ago.
You were my interviewee.
I was. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yep. So I had Megan on there. I had my very first interviewer was Trevor Houston. He was my first guest. I was so nervous, and he actually set me up for the rest of being able to be comfortable with the rest of my interviewees, because he's like, it's just a conversation. And so it's been super fun. I had Camille Walker, who's been on this deep dive. And then, and if you guys have a faith forward story or a business story and you'd like to be on, I would love to host you. Let me know. And we can get you on the podcast and for the next season.
Everyone right here should be a guest.
Yeah, so exciting. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Pamela. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the deep dive. I feel like I'm talking too much.
Have you been, you've been perfect. Have you been listening,
I'm
guys?
not used to it.
Have you been listening? Yeah. Because I wanted to, I interviewed Angeline maybe 2 months ago. I don't know, but it was right before it was in July when I went out of town for a week. So I did the Tuesday, but I didn't do the Thursday. I said, well, we'll catch up with that. And so then when my Tuesday person who was scheduled, he said, no, I can't. I am traveling now. Okay. So I said, hey, let's redo it, So I interviewed her again, not the same context, but a little different. And then tonight with that, but it's, guys, it's really about that commitment. If you listen to not only what she's saying, but your own selves in your lives, it really is about that. Wouldn't you agree, Pamela?
Yes, most definitely. That commitment, it just runs deep and it motivates you to action. I mean,
Yes.
not just Stars Tina motivates you, but and Megan motivates you, but that commitment definitely motivates you.
Right.
And I was thinking about real quick, and when I jumped on, you were talking about that mustard seed of faith, and I just wanted to read a little something out of the Passion Translation. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
please share.
Okay, so it's talking about that mustard seed faith, and it said, even if you have even the smallest measure of faith, it would be powerful enough to say to this large tree, my faith will pull you up by the roots and throw you into the sea, and it will respond to your faith and obey you. Isn't that awesome? Then you can pull it up by the roots and just throw it.
I
just
love that.
seed, and the little bitty seed grows up to be that big bush. So I really love that you were talking about that. And if we just extend our faith and keep that commitment, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. With God is my creator. I'm a Christian, and with him and that commitment and that faith, you can do it.
It's so true. A couple weeks ago, they brought mustard seed. So they had the story and they shared it in children's church about the mustard seed of faith, right? And they brought mustard seeds, and I've seen them before, but not like really. And so they're showing the kids how little a mustard seed was, right? And so my son was like, yeah, mommy, they had us try them. And then he's like, but when I tasted it, it had such a big, powerful taste, and it was just too sour and I didn't like it. And I'm like, wow, even the smallest seed, even that mustard seed of faith is so super powerful. And that it relates to it saying it's a mustard seed, and then it's like has a powerful taste too. So even just having a mustard seed of faith is super powerful. I guess I'm rambling about that, but I thought it was cool.
No apologies, Angeline, ever. But it's that mustard seed, because again, back to seasons, ebb and flow, as we've been speaking about tonight, those, again, Jeremiah 29:11, he has a plan. And we get so twisted up when we perceive what that plan is, and then there's a deviation from it, and then I didn't do that. Oh, and then you stop. But if you have that mustard seed of faith, leaning, trusting, and then continuing on and listening, but there's always seasons, always. It's a truly an evolution. I put my glasses on, and
Jules is here. Jules Hughes. She's part of the Mom Link with Trisha, with me, and with Debbie, with Crystal Almeida. So that's how I know Jules and Trisha, through the Mom Link. Hey, lady. So I introduced Crystal to the system, and that's what they're using. So they know the system as well, of how powerful the one-stop shop is.
Can I pipe in though for a moment? Just a moment?
Please, Trisha.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, because I just want to say, Angeline, you talk about Megan, you talk about Stars Tina, you talk about everybody being like this constant and this amazing thing, but you're my constant because you're everywhere I am. You're in BWC, you're in Mom Link, you're like everywhere I land. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice, but the reality is, I said that to you. You're knocking on every door at my house. You're like everywhere I am. When I do work with Jackie, you're there. Yeah, you're just everywhere. So, and you're a constant, and it's a constant. It's not, you waver on this or you think about that, you bring your faith into everything that you do, and you're always talking. And the laughter yoga that we did the one morning where it was you and I just like
Yeah.
piping in, I just
So
love
good.
it. I love it. So
But no,
just
Trisha, that's commitment.
it's fact.
Has
Yeah.
she has made a decision, because again, she's got a full-time corporate job, guys, and she's got 3 kids and a husband and a house, and I mean, she might not be a homemaker lady, but still, you pick up the kids,
I help.
you make dinner and all that. But
Yeah.
she is committed, Trisha. Yes, you're 100% right.
Yeah, and I truly believe her system is what's gonna bring me over the other side. And thanks
Yes.
to Jules, Jules was like, "You need to get into this. You need to be a part of this." So, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. And Megan, you know how I feel about you. You're
As
always
well.
you're always there. You're always there. So I appreciate you. But
Thank
but thank you for having Angeline as your special guest tonight, because it was really important because I always get a message from her, come in, Megan's doing her thing. And then when I saw it was her as the special guest, I was like, wait, what? So I was really excited. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
No,
I
I
have
do.
the privilege of talking to her a lot, and gleaning I mean, again, like you said, Trisha, Angeline is so generous of her time and sharing and pouring in and collaborating. I mean, you notice that Dora Marie is not on as much, and because she's given them a break, because those ladies were amazing, I'm talking about BWC. So it's just, she's stepped in and has really poured her heart in. And you're right. It's not just empty words, but very full words.
Well,
Okay.
honestly, it's all God, guys. The way that I see it, his kingdom is so big, and my job is to help activate, align, and amplify the sparkle in everyone that I reach and that is in my circle for his kingdom. And that's kind of where Kingdom Sparkle kind of fell into place for me. And it's same with Faith Forward and blending it together, because you would never think technology and faith, what? Why? But it works for me. So I want to share it with the world and how it can work for you too. Hi, Jules. Welcome. I think this is your first time in the Propel. Yes?
Yes, it is. It's my first time. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes,
I'm
thank you.
so pleased to meet you, my friend. And
Thank you.
I've seen your name, and what's interesting, Jules, about you being here tonight. Also, I was thinking about in real time, like Pam had just gone to Renee Noor's event, correct, Pam?
Yes.
You were
I
there?
love Renee. Queen Renee.
You were there at that event, right? Yes.
Yes, it was amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Were you there live or you did the virtual? You were there
No,
live?
I was there live.
Yeah, she was there. I saw, photographs on Facebook. But my point of bringing that up is that there is a net of connection of meeting here virtually, but also in real time. And it's so great when you finally meet a person in real time. It's like you were best friends forever.
Brian,
Well, I
Mom
can-
is coming to Jersey.
And
Say it
listen,
again.
Brian.
I can vouch for that. I see on the screen here, I'm sitting next to Pamela. She was my roommate at our first MomLink event last year.
Yes. We were there. I didn't even know you guys were there.
That was the first time that we met. We
Yeah.
reached
I
out.
love that.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
That's so
But
cool.
listen, I just want to share on
Please.
about Angeline's technology. As I just spoke to her today, and she was so gracious to help me. I am so not tech savvy, and I just built my very first website solo using Angeline's wonderful KSA system. So I got to give again a shout out to Angeline. The system is so easy to use that even me, a non-techie, seriously non-techie person, can build something. I mean, with links and live video and forms and everything. It's plug and play. So Angeline, thank you. I mean, I reached out to you. I said, all I need to do is get it live. I've done everything. How do I do it? She just walked me through it. I knew she was busy, but she took the time. So
Yes.
really, Angeline, like, you're amazing. Thank you.
You're
And that's
amazing.
authenticity right there.
Y'all make
You
it
need-
easy for me though, honestly. So
But you need to write a review. You need to write a review, all of
Aw.
you, and send them to her.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
She
Yes.
needs to
Great.
start, compiling those and using those strategically. So and use your words, exactly what you just said. Very powerful, because I'm there with you, girl. I'm there. Now,
Welcome, Brian.
I was just going to say, can we talk a little bit about now? Let's kind of swing into, because we're at,
Oh, we are. It's getting late. We could
we'll go
chat
over.
all day. I just want to
We'll
say hi
go
to
over.
Brian. Mom Link's coming to New Jersey, Brian. So
That's
if you
fine.
want to find out what they're doing or meet up whenever, like in the middle of their little fun stuff, you should say hi to all the people that are going. Trisha will be there, right? Trish, you're coming to Jersey, and Jules will be there. Debbie's coming. I'm gonna try. We're gonna
I'm
see.
gonna be Jules's roommate because I'm gonna stay at her house.
I know it's Mom Link, and you're like, Brian's like all these women, but we love the men that support us too. So, but we'll definitely do a Jersey event with everyone. That'll be really great. So yes,
where
Megan.
is it going to be, Angeline? Do you know that?
Jules, I will leave it to you to share further.
It's going to be in Newark, New Jersey, at the Empowerment Studios. It's a mother-daughter duo. It's their studio, so we're so impressed. And oh my goodness, the event's going to be amazing. So it's a
And what
must.
are the dates?
So October 6th and October 7th. October 6th is virtual. October 7th is hybrid, in person. Yep.
So maybe, Brian, that might be good. What do you think?
Well,
Brian.
Crystal sent me the virtual invitation, so I think she. I don't want to totally speak for her, but I think she only wanted to invite me for the virtual part.
Oh no,
which is fine, especially considering that I don't feel the most comfortable with driving to Newark.
Okay.
Because Newark is not one of the safest cities in New Jersey. I'm sorry to say, but
see, that's why they need you there, a man, to help with all.
Brian, that's why you drive in and you drive out.
Oh gosh. No.
Would you go,
Brian,
Brian, if you had somebody to go with? Would you go if somebody was driving with you?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I would.
Okay. Well, we'll talk. So, anyway, so that is October 6th and 7th.
The live events. This is a great segue, Megan.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. And I'm sure you've heard Angeline and I speak about next Thursday, Not on Our Watch. Have you heard she speak about that at all?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'll just share a little bit about my friend LB Thomas, Elizabeth. And I've known LB, over 10 years, and she started 13 years ago an organization. We were just sitting around having wine. What happened?
I'm sharing the screen about Not on Our Watch.
Continue. And she started Texas Women in Business, and 13 years later, there's 3 or 4 chapters all over the state. She was at a conference for Texas Women in Business in 18, early 19, and some speaker made a comment in her presentation that Texas was the #1 state in the union for human trafficking. And she was like, whoa. I mean, we like to be big, we like to be, #1, but not for that. So she came to all of us and said, let's do something. And she put together this nonprofit called Not on Our Watch. And she had this big plan in the spring of 20, to go contact Cecilia Abbott, who's the First Lady of Texas, Governor Abbott's wife, and to do something in the Capitol and bring awareness to human trafficking. Well, of course, we know what happened in 20. So it didn't happen. And then time went on, and she was thinking we would talk about, we did other fundraisers, but then Sound of Freedom came on, the movie. and it brought such awareness to people. And then Lisa Copeland, who's a very good friend of LB's, went down to 10X Women a couple of weeks ago, a month ago now, and was sharing about this in conversation with Elena. And Elena said, I want to be involved. And that's how that really started. And so LB had already spoken to Cecilia Abbott, so she contacted her at her office and said, we're going to be doing this on the 7th of September. Could Mrs. Abbott come? And she's coming to kick it off. So it is a kind of happening, guys. But again, back to what we've been speaking about. When LB was my guest last week, we talked about this, that she thought she was disappointed. She was kind of like, maybe it's not supposed to happen. Maybe I'm not supposed to be involved with this. But it wasn't in God's timing. And so it was such a time as this. And so she is now have put this together, and it's 120 people because it's a small location, but also Angeline stepped in, and it's going to be virtual as well.
There's a live stream that they're doing. So you can definitely join the live stream. It's going to be really incredible. Go to not on our watch tx.com. So not on our watch texas.com to join the live stream. You'll have to add it as a calendar invite to your reminders because the link on the website is literally to join the live stream at 2 p.m. Is that Central, right? 2 p.m. Central on Thursday. And then I'm going to be there live. So me and Megan will be there live. We'll do the Propel together. It'll be really cool because we're going to be actually together when we do this. So I'll we're kind of side by side now, but like in the same spot. So I'm really excited. I didn't know how I was going to get it done, but I have an opportunity to come to Texas for this event. So I cannot wait. There's a couple other events coming up. If you go to angelinemore.com, you'll see the different links here, not just the not on our watch tx.com, but the prayer, the wailing to warring women that Carla Renner, she was also another guest a couple weeks right before LB. So September is really rich with great events coming up. And then of course the Mom Link stuff's coming up in October. Literally, I'm just excited to have the opportunity to get in the same space as the same people. Like I'm going to be shaking hands with Elena Cardone and the First Lady of Texas, and it's going to be great.
No, it's, I think that to me personally, and Elena said to LB after they met on the phone that I want to spearhead this in Florida. And just Carla Runner, who's a friend of mine, I've known for 20 years, she was given a Holy Spirit nudge to go to the Arkansas Capitol. She lives in Little Rock, and pray for the country. And this was 3 years ago. That's the WW3. And then because she is a speaker in the women's spiritual space, and she then spoke about it, and a few other capitals did join forces. Last year, there were maybe a dozen. But then the Holy Spirit said to her, excuse me, you're not done. All 50 states.
This is about commitment. Yeah. So she's been doing this now for 3 years. I'm going to share her site here, wailingtowarring.com. And it's really a nationwide prayer initiative, guys. And Brian, you're invited to it too. Don't get scared that we always have women talking about the women doing the thing. So they literally have 50 representatives. And what's really cool is that we've locked arms together so that if you are not able to go to your state capital, which I'm not, I'm in Florida, and Tallahassee is kind of far from where I'm at. So I'm not going to be going I'm not going to be able to drive up that for those hours. So she has given me the honor to host a virtual prayer. So if you guys want to join the virtual space and join it virtually, and if you can't go to your state capital that day, so whatever state you are in and you were there, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for everyone to tap in. You can join the virtual prayer that I'll be leading so that it can get nationwide and everywhere. So really great things coming up.
It's so important, guys, so important. And so it's at 11 o'clock Central. So back up, when she did the Little Rock, that's Central. So it was we did it at sunrise. I went last year. But she recognized that it couldn't be at sunrise because it's going to go from Hawaii over to the East Coast. So it's at 11. So it's at 11 o'clock Central. That would be noon Eastern and so forth. So we can all lock arms and pray for, like 2 Chronicles 7:14, if our people will come together and pray. And so it is on the 16th of
Saturday. Yep.
Saturday the 16th.
Saturday the 16th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
No.
So anyhow,
super excited. So those are the things coming up.
something else you shared about something other than the Jersey Mom Link. Wasn't there something you said in your live? There was something else, but always something going on. So
there's always something going on.
Always something going on. Yes.
Yeah. So there's Mary Lynn. So if you're in Florida, if you're local to Florida, she is doing her event in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I'm going down there to do a laughter yoga session as well. I know that Alexander Gonzalez is going to be there, and he'll be speaking about his cheer awards. Stars Tina is going to be flying in, and she'll be speaking too. I'm really excited for this. I know Mary Kim from the Mom Link is coming through. So if you are local to Florida, if you want to drive it or come through, you can, or you can be a sponsor for the event if you can just help her sponsor it, which gives you visibility on your brand. I talked about that during my segment on the Motivational Monday on how important sponsorships is and how that can really also bring awareness to you. It's a win-win, right? So you're helping the person do their event, and then they're bringing awareness to you and your brand, showing your authority about like, hey, this person's amazing, they're sponsoring my event too. And it just ties together and just shows that, again, that collaboration. So that is coming up on the 9th.
Excited.
So I'm literally flying back on the 8th from the Not on Our Watch, Texas, and then turning around and going down to, and Debbie Dowling-Wawa will be speaking as well at Maryland's event. So it'll be some incredible stories to share, an afternoon of motivation. Super, super cool. I have all the links to all 3 events at my link, angelinemoore.com. You can just go to angelinemoore.com and see all the different things there.
I can't wait.
And we are not, all of them really, like you said, we'll just continue on. I'm talking about Not on Our Watch, as well as WW3,
Yes.
prayer. Prayer can't just be on the 16th. We must continue on and pray and join together in prayer. And, we're just beginning, guys. I was thinking, years ago, and I'm talking about a lot of years ago, the word heartlink, because I have had a clubhouse room with Pastor Anthony Hart for about 2 years, and we put it on pause because we just felt the Holy Spirit prompting us to. But it is my name. I've used it, over the years, and I used to teach aesthetic at trade shows, and I put a angel in your pocket medallion on people's chairs, a little card, and about a heart link. And you were talking about your book, Angeline, and there's something percolating in me that we need to start planning an anthology with a heart link, people sharing their heart links, whatever.
Oh, I love that. Yes,
I want to
that'd be great.
start praying about that because because I think we need to all join and lock arms together.
Well, just know, guys, I've already had it in my heart when it comes to the heart link. She speaks about this. Just look out for EKG. It's going to be the Elite Kingdom Global. That's going to be available to y'all soon. I don't know what it is yet, but that's the next download. First it was Faith Forward. It's grown into KSA Kingdom Sparkle, and now Elite Kingdom Global is coming. Kingdom was my word of the year, and it's just, I'm so excited for all the things, guys. And I'm so excited and just honored and thrilled for y'all to be in that circle with us. Trisha, Jules, Pamela, Brian, the ones that I see on live, Shelly, Jean, Debbie. I also see you on here. I think I saw Sharon Council Harris popped through saying hi, hello. And then I saw one more, but anybody that's watching, thank you. Dr. Emerald popped in. Y'all are amazing. Melanie Christie said hello, and she's here watching us. So we couldn't do it without you guys. So we are here with Megan. I'm usually in the back end. So thank you, Megan, for having me as your guest. And y'all made me blush so much for all your stuff. I don't even know what to say when people start saying compliments to me, but I'm learning instead of saying no, don't do that, guys. When somebody compliments me, just say, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's amazing. Same to you. Because you don't want to block the blessings, right? So definitely, I graciously accept that. You guys are amazing as well. You make me amazing. You make it simple for me to want to share and help bring up your sparkles. So it's been amazing for me. We're here every Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Time zones are going to get me when I get to Texas, Megan. So just know that I'm going to be out of the loop and not myself.
Right. Right. So
I'm
next Thursday
do.
night, as Angeline said, I said to her, I have no idea who and what, because the event ends at 4. Who knows what we'll do?
We may come on. It may just be a live. We might look out for the automated texts and messages that I send you guys. So
yes, exactly. It could be with
we might be at dinner. Yeah.
And the girl sitting at a table. I mean, it could be whatever. So we will see, or just she and I in my car. So whatever.
Yeah.
Because this girl, by the way, thank God I don't sleep a lot. I'm picking her up at midnight on Wednesday, and I'm taking her back to the airport on Friday morning at 6 or 5 or whatever.
5.
So that means we have to leave my house at whatever time that is. So I'm not going to sleep a lot. So we'll just stay up all night.
It'll be a all-night party rager. So thank you guys so much.
But I just want to share, Angeline, ladies and gentlemen, do encourage people to join us. Because basically, you start off in the morning with you mentioned morning, with my deep dive, my daily. And Angeline, you said this the other day that, even though I give it to you and I write them, I give them to you, you put them in, then you read it in the morning, you say, oh, I like this, where it's a word of encouragement. So, I would love you to share that. So that's where you guys have mentioned, you get the notifications. So, but it starts out with that daily and then a notification of the weekly and then the deep dive on Thursday night. So would love you to share it out.
Yeah.
We're just
go to propel.megandimartino.com/info. And the very first link on that is Propel Daily to join the SMS community. And then, of course, to sign up for the deep dives. She has the Not on Our Watch on there as well. If you go to AngelineMoore.com, I have the 3 events that we talked about, the Not on Our Watch, the Wailing Warrior Prayer Day, and then Mary Lynn's event too. So thank you guys. We appreciate y'all. Did anybody have any questions or anything?
And I'd like a picture taken, Angeline.
Oh, yes.
We're pretty inconsistent with that. So come on back.
Yeah, Jules, come back and
Jules, come on back, Jules.
Real quick, let me do a quick picture because I always forget. So thanks for a reminder. I did it in the beginning. All right, ready? So now that I stopped messing with my hair.
Can you look for one also, please?
Say it again.
Look up. Do it again.
I was asking Angeline if she could look for one without her camera in the view.
Oh, let me.
Oh, that's a very good point, Trish. Yes.
All right, I think I got it.
Thank you.
It's weird that I'm like in it. So.
Yeah, because I want you to face it so that you don't have your camera up, so I can do it.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much.
So Megan, I'm coming to Dallas tomorrow.
I'm sending it to you.
But I would love to connect with you.
Well, I'm 2.5 hours south in Austin, but
Austin.
But where do you live again?
I'm coming to Dallas for Terry Savelle Foy's icing event. So she's having that in Dallas. So.
But where do you live?
Oh, I'm sorry. I live in Georgia.
That's what I thought. So you're coming in for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm a little far, but but have a wonderful time. Guess what? The first day, drum roll, please. It was under 100 degrees.
We had a hurricane, so it got a little cooler for us too. So yay
It
for
was-
Florida
it was-
and Texas
was
weather
70
getting
something.
cooler, because this
It
heat
was
wave has
70
been
something,
crazy.
early, 77 maybe, and it only got up
It's
to
okay,
90.
Mia. I'll be right there, honey.
So,
I
so it's
just,
cooling off, Trisha, for you, so that's good.
yeah.
So we just need rain badly, so we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for joining.
Facebook. Thank you, Instagram. Or no, not Instagram. YouTube, LinkedIn. I'm gonna end the broadcast now. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Bye.
Bye.